But let's get right into it. Thank you guys so much for checking this out and giving me the time.
Does anybody else feel like masculinity has slowly been drained from modern video games? I was
Oh,
looking
it
at
definitely
recent
has.
staff photos of Ubisoft and Halo Infinite developers, and it's all starting to make sense. It's a bunch of
Couple
fat
blue
white
hairs.
liberal women. And
I mean, to be fair, I mean they're not all fat, but they probably are liberal.
white liberal women have no interest in masculine, manly, male
I'm fat.
characters. They wouldn't even know how to write one if they tried. This is why Rockstar, a company founded by men that at least in 2018 was
Great,
still mostly
great
run by
company.
men, created the magnum opus Red Dead Redemption 2, a
Well, I
game with a
mean,
manly,
when I say great company, I mean great games. I don't know if the company itself is great or not.
well written main protagonist, Arthur Morgan. If you want to see the seismic shift away from masculine characters, honestly, all you need to do is play a few games from 2006 and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Consider how many.
games back in the day. Sorry, I pause a lot. Whatever. Uh, games back in the day were so fucking good, and they didn't give a fuck. There wasn't as many like bullshit rules that they had to configure to. Most games were targeted towards men, and they knew it. And then I feel like as time went on, more and more they realized more and more like girls and stuff played games, and they had to like adjust things, but they over adjusted. I mean, you would never think that a franchise like Saints Row would turn into the bullshit that it did, but here we are.
Many masculine military games came out in the 2000s. Medal of Honor, Call of Duty, Brothers in Arms, Gears of War, Operation Flashpoint, Rainbow Six,
Great
Ghost
games.
Recon, Splinter Cell. All of these games were starring men and had themes like brotherhood, duty, sacrifice, honor.
Hell yeah, brother.
Almost all of these franchises have either been killed off, turned into multiplayer games, or went woke. I often wonder why so few
Yeah.
modern games appeal to me, and I think another big reason is this: everything is just so gay now. Compare
It's
the games I just mentioned.
it's so fucking true. And like the thing is, right? No one cares if there's like a gay character or if you want to make a gay game, whatever, it's fine. But like it doesn't have to be in every single fucking game. Like there are great ways to do like a gay character in a game and be perfectly fine. And no one will care because you just got to do it in a way to where it's like it's not in your face. And that's the problem that people have is that like we don't give a shit. Most people, I mean, there might be some people that actually do care if there's a gay character in their game, but most people really don't care. It's just the way that you put it into the game that matters. And same thing in real life. Like most people in real life actually don't give a fuck if you're gay, trans, whatever. Do you do your thing. Just don't be throwing it into people's face every second and then get mad if they don't understand what you're trying to like do.
To the modern trash we have to deal with in Overwatch and Apex. Almost every character in these new games is either gay, lesbian, bisexual, trans, or something else.
Yeah, it's completely overdone for no reason. Like like I said, it's fine to have those characters, but not every character needs to be like that.
Like, what happened to a masculine dude with a hot chick on his arm?
Just like not every character needs to be masculine and a manly character. You know what I mean? Like it goes both ways. Like it doesn't need to be one or the other. You just have to make sure the characters that you do make sense. They're not shoving it in your face all the time. Because it's fine if you have one over the top character. That's a given. You can have one over the top character, but like don't make every single character like make it their whole identity. Because you can have masculine gay people. You can have feminine gay people. Like they don't just come in one fucking size. Like there are gay people that are very masculine.
I love the idea of Xbox Game Pass, but I swear every time I open it up and look for new games, there's just so many games that look gay now. I refuse to
mean,
play another cutesy 2D platformer or a game with a cutesy art style by
to be fair, not all these games are like gay or whatever he's trying to say. Like it's certain art styles are whatever, but there are some that are like okay, you can totally tell like gunk.
some indie developer anymore. I'm just done with these games. If you want my 100% real thoughts on this, I just think the entire video game industry has gone woke and gay, and almost nothing they are making appeals to me in any way anymore. So this is
That's
why I
fair.
mostly play 20-year-old.
That's completely fair for him to say. Uh, there's absolutely like it is insane. Like there are more woke games nowadays than there are just like a normal game, and like that's completely fair for him to say.
Games on my channel because they were just better. I was recently reading an insider interview about what went down at Volition Studios with the disastrous Saints Row reboot from an inside source. This source said that the LGBTQ community within the company was actually pretty small, but they are the loudest and the most annoying, and the company leadership chose to promote these people into key roles.
That makes sense.
And that's how you get the absolute dumpster fire of a game that was Saints Row 2022. I think what you have.
That's the same thing with like Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff, is that like the minority are actually the loudest because they're so loud on their little platforms that people think that that's what people think, but it's not really what people think, if that makes sense. So basically what happens is these people that are extremists over, like they say their bullshit, people that think the same way as them boost it up to the point to where it gets big, and then these companies get scared thinking that, oh well, we don't want to piss these people off because they must be the majority, but really they're the minority, and most people are just like, what the fuck is going on, what happened?
Have at a lot of these game studios is about 80% of the staff is probably just hetero dudes trying to do their job, but they're afraid of speaking up or saying what they actually.
Yeah, because people are afraid of getting canceled, but really you can't get canceled. Like the only person that can cancel is yourself.
think. And then you have the LGBTQ folks making decisions
Classic
about
picture.
what kind of game to make. And everything just ends up being safe and soft and sensitive because, oh, we can't hurt anybody's feelings. So, of course, you get these shitty dumpster fire video games that nobody wants to play. After reading a lot of insider interviews at these developers, this is my sense of what has been happening.
EVE Online on Mac immerses you in a universe with.
I can't believe Eve
I
is
also
still
feel
going.
like there's this kind of unholy alliance right now between games journalists, white liberal women at game studios, and the
Game Award winner, purveyor of shitty woke games, and several. What the fuck? That's funny.
LGBTQ community at game studios. And they all seem to be united around one thing. They actually hate gamers. And who are gamers overwhelmingly? Well, heterosexual dudes like us, of course.
Yeah,
This
I mean,
recent Reddit.
that is true. There's probably way more straight people, not even just dudes, but like even straight women that probably also find this shit bullshit. That play more video because, and if you think about it, like there always is going to be more straight people than gay people, so gay people will always end up being the minority. Like I don't care who you are, what your beliefs are. That's just most likely that should be the fact 99% of the time. So if you're risking making a game for the small minority, then that's why you see all these games flop, because no one wants to play these games because they're sick of the bullshit. It's not because people hate gay people or trans people, whatever. It's because people are just sick of seeing these bullshit games that they can't connect to.
Thread was written by an actual game developer and made me realize this. It reads, headline,
Am I allowed to say this? I kind of hate gamers. I'm a professional game designer, and I'm worried that I'm starting to hate gamers. Watching the gaming events on YouTube last month with the chat on was extremely disheartening experience. Every time a character that wasn't a cis-het white man appeared on screen, the chats would fill with messages calling the game woke or complaining about DEI. Every game that wasn't a shooter or a hyper-casual competitive online game garnered zzz and boring comments. I've seen people implying that the MC in Fable trailers is ugly because it's a self-insert of some random level designer working at Playground whom they deemed not fuckable enough. I don't know, it's just the internet magnifying negative voices, I guess, doing what it does best. But it's making me real tired of gamers.
So at this point,
I mean, those people that said those things, not that actual like thing that guy wrote, but the people that he was writing about, they weren't completely fucking wrong.
It seems that games journalists and all of the liberal LGBT mafia that work at game studios actually hate their audience. And this is a comment I keep reading from you guys again and again. I swear they literally...
Yeah. I'm sorry I keep pausing, whatever. But why are you making a game? Why are you taking a franchise that people know and love and they know what they're going to get, and then you're trying to force this bullshit into the fucking game, and then you're ruining this franchise, destroying the name of the franchise. Sorry, you can't see me. Hopefully in my new place. I only have that lamp in this room. That is the only source of light. I'm sorry about that. But anyways, make a new game. If you want to make these games, don't destroy old franchises that have been around forever because you want to make them fit your fucking narrative.
They hate us. They seem to be dead set on giving their audience exactly what we don't want.
And I just want to make it clear, if you made it this far and you see this point, I don't hate anyone. I honestly, like, you do your thing. I have gay and trans cousins. Like, I honestly could care less about, like, that part of it. It's just the whole point of, like, there are certain things. Like, I even fight my one cousin that's trans, and she basically, like, we butt heads sometimes, but I still love her. It is what it is. But, like, there are certain times where it's like, all right, you need to chill the fuck out and let people just live their life, and not everyone's out to get you.
How long is your business going to be open if you're dead set on not giving the customer what they want? This is why when skanks like Alyssa Mercante are crying about
Jesus
Kotaku
Christ.
shutting down and losing their jobs, and game studios are going under because they were associated with Sweet Baby Inc., I just laugh.
You know, I'm glad that this video has over 1 million views and has done so well, because this is like, man, I love this because I'm so sick of the cancel culture bullshit.
Let them burn. Let all these companies burn.
We need more
They
videos
don't
like
know how to
this.
give the
This
aud-
guy's
the
fucking
wonderful
awesome.
irony in
Subscribe
all
to him,
is that
like
it's
this
the very
his
games
video.
that the woke cancel mob has tried to cancel that seem to do the best. Remember Hogwarts Legacy? Yeah, men
Hell
who dress
yeah.
in women's clothes tried to get it canceled. Instead, the game sold 25 million copies.
Great game.
Oops.
And that's what
Remember
we need to
Elden-
do. That's what we need to do. I'm sorry about the lighting. I apologize. But that's what we need to keep doing, is fucking show them this is what we want. We don't give a fuck what you say. We're gonna buy the games that are good, because Hogwarts Legacy was actually a really fucking good game. And that's what it is. Hit them in the wallets. Every time they pull out some bullshit game that is just woke to be woke and it's not like actually a good game, don't buy it. But like, say they do make a woke game that is good, then you don't buy it, because then you'd be like, listen, this is one that worked. These ones didn't work because these ones were forcing bullshit on us. This one was actually a good game, even though there was gay characters in it, but they were just normal people. Because that's the difference. There's a difference between someone that's normal and stable and they're gay, trans, whatever. But then there's the fucking ones that go crazy, wild, and act like lunatics. And even the normal straight, or not straight, but like, you know what I mean? The normal, like, ones that act like normal people, they hate those people too.
Ring? Remember how the woke mob tried to accuse FromSoft games of having, quote, problematic depictions of women? Oops, sold 25 million copies. At this point, making an offensive game seems to guarantee that game's success. We could talk about Stellar Blade, pissing off all of the liberal progressives, and yet everybody went out and bought it. Okay, so in the rest of this video, I want to give you 4 examples of a game or game series going from masculine to feminine or gay, and it basically either killed or ruined the franchise.
Yep.
Number 1, Ubisoft and Red Storm Entertainment. So Red Storm Entertainment was a video game company founded by the legendary Tom Clancy to make Tom Clancy video games. He sold the company to Ubisoft in the year 2000, and Ubisoft in the 2000s actually had some balls and made some of the manliest games you've ever seen. There were the Splinter Cell games, the Ghost
So
Recon
good.
games,
All
the
those
Rainbow
games are
Six
good.
games, and the Far Cry games. All of these games pretty much feature exclusively men, and these IPs in the 2000s had so much
See,
testosterone just to
I don't even think. I mean, great place to pause, but I don't even think that just having manly men make a manly game. Like you could still have a badass fucking woman character. You can have a badass trans character in your game. Just don't make them a fucking pussy.
single glance from a woman in their direction would get her pregnant. I mean,
Like, look at
motherfucking
Tomb
Sam
Raider.
Fisher, come on. The dude is the ultimate Giga Chad. Scott Mitchell in Ghost Recon. Now, you pick your own character in Far Cry 2, but it's definitely a manly game that will put hair on your chest. So what is Red Storm Entertainment up to today? Well, I recently saw that Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland is being led by a man who dresses in
Oh my
women's
God.
clothes in his free time.
I mean, like, this game looks interesting.
Now, look, I don't give a shit if you want to identify as a dragon and go around laying magic eggs, but can we agree that the least masculine thing on earth you can do is dress in women's clothes?
I can't lie. I've wore dresses before for theater and whatnot. Like, it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't make you gay just because you wear a dress. Sometimes you can do it to be funny, or sometimes you can do it because you're comfortable with who you are. Like, I've done it before. I've worn dresses before. Like, I'm still masculine. Like, I'm still straight.
Tom Clancy would be rolling over in his grave right now if he knew the absolute disaster that Red Storm Entertainment had become. Number 2, Wolfenstein. So I was recently playing Wolfenstein The New Order for the first time, which came out.
I need to play these games. I still haven't played like any of the new Wolfensteins. Like I played the old ones back in the day, but I haven't played any of the new ones yet. So maybe I don't know if you guys are interested. I could like make a video of it or something or live stream it. I don't know, depending on if you guys want to watch. Just let me know.
Out in 2014. And I have to say, of all the games I was sure were going to avoid woke Western progressivism, this game was pretty high up there. The first 3 entries of the reboot were all fantastic. They had the badass BJ Blazkowicz, an absolute unit, as the main character, ripping apart entire armies of Nazis with the sexy and smart Anya as his arm candy and wife. Machine Game's first 3 Wolfenstein entries, which came out in 2014, 2015, and 2017, are all great. They have normal men and women doing normal shit in them. Awesome. But of course, the woke mob had to get involved somehow. So you have a beloved series with a beloved, tough, male, manly main character. Do you
trying to
suppose
think
it's a
of which
good idea
one.
to kill off that guy and replace him with cringy
Oh,
girl boss characters?
Youngblood, is that what this one
Wolfenstein
is?
Youngblood came
Yeah.
out in 2019, and it's an absolute tone-deaf disaster. So many modern video games, I find myself asking, who wanted this? Who asked for this? I often ask the same thing of the new Star Wars shows by Catholic.
But that's the thing is like that can work because we have like Tomb Raider is a prime example of it working really well with a female lead, but she's a badass. Like as long as it's not like woke, that's fine. Like I don't completely agree like that it has to be a manly man, like it has to be a man's man to be like a badass game. Like I don't believe it.
Kathleen
I don't. I
Kennedy
don't
as well.
completely agree
The
with that.
Wolfenstein reboot had the perfect synergy of story and gameplay. You are BJ Blazkowicz, unleashing his rage on the Nazis for killing everyone he loved. You see this come across in his brutal assassinations, like sticking a rusty pipe through the eye socket of an SS Waffen commander. But the setup to Wolfenstein Youngblood is incredibly cringe. In it, you play as BJ's daughters, and they're honestly nothing
But like to be fair, I've never played this game, so I don't know how they did it. You know what I mean?
like him. The first time you kill somebody, they don't really want to do it. And when they finally kill the guy, they have to have lattes and talk about it afterwards. Youngblood is a perfect example of how
Yeah,
a
that
cutscene
could
can
be.
go so see in a game.
Mm.
BJ's setup
I
is
could see
perfect
that.
and explains to you why you're doing the actions you're doing. BJ's daughters, however, are acting like they're in an episode of Big Bang Theory the whole time, but oh yeah, they just happen to be killing Nazis, and haha, isn't this so funny? It's tonally all over the place and just so full of cringy and awful cinematics, which is ironic because the cinematics in the first 3 games were like so good and short, and they got to the point and they were really emotional and impactful. Example number 3, Gears of War. For a full explanation of how the woke mob girl bossed Gears of War, see my video on that game, but I'll keep this short. The first 3 Gears games are an incredible trilogy focusing on the bonds and brotherhood between men.
Yeah.
They're incredibly masculine games, focusing on duty and sacrifice and military orders. And I know some of you hate this, but for 10,000 years, it's only been men fighting wars. Sorry. The first 3 games focus on Marcus, Dom, Cole, and Baird.
Yeah,
and tell a
I know
masculine
where he's
story
going with
of
this
brotherhood.
one.
Well, the progressive woke mob somehow got to Gears of War, and Gears 4 and 5 are about sisterhood, motherhood, being a traitor, and what it feels like.
Oh, really? Gears 4 was like that too? I thought it was only Gears 5. But, like, I only played the first 3 games, to be honest. And I only played the campaigns. I never played, like, the multiplayer or anything like that. But I did play the first 3 games that were on 360. Like, I played through their campaigns or whatever. But I did play a little bit of 5. I never played 4, so I didn't know that it started in 4.
To be a woman. They introduced the character of Kate Diaz, who I don't think anybody gives a single fuck about. What they should have done is put Kate in a spin-off game, not
Although they are fixing this with the new Gears of War, like, prequel game that's coming out. So I think they did understand that they fucked up.
mainline Gears entry. But here's the problem, of course, nobody would have bought it. So unfortunately, Gears 4 and 5 are basically girl boss, feminist Gears of War, and any masculine story about men is put on the back burner. Of course, the games include Baird and Marcus in them, but they're really on the back burner, and Gears is now about Kate Diaz, who I've never talked to a Gears fan even cares about. Moving on, example number 4, the Saints Row reboot.
Yeah,
Saints Row spent 10
this one was bad.
years building up characters and building up a very distinctive and edgy and male sense of humor. It's the kind of stuff you and the guys would laugh at. Some of the recurring characters in Saints Row are Johnny Gat, Julius, Aisha, Shondi, and several others. In these games, the men are men and the women are women. Johnny is edgy and hilarious and always has a hot chick on his arm. The humor is crude and hilarious, and the Saints are always getting into trouble. What went wrong with the reboot?
I always loved these games growing up. I always thought they were super good. Sorry, I know I have to figure out with the mic the situation because I have to figure out the way they get it to where it connects, whatever. Anyways, I'm rambling. I always loved these games growing up. I always thought they were like a more arcadey, like GTA, like, you know what I mean? Like you know, if you played them, they were always really, really fun and crazy. They're like a more out there like GTA, where GTA was trying to be a little bit more serious. These ones went a little bit more on the like wonky, let's have fun side.
Well, the woke 2022 reboot thought it was a good idea to kill off every single character from the old Saints Row games, and I guess they thought we would be cool with that. But don't worry, all of the beloved characters you've come to know and love have been replaced with tokenistic characters from a literal seminar on diversity. You've got the gay Asian man, the girl boss lesbian, another girl boss lesbian, and the gay black guy. The LGBTQ mafia didn't just kill Saints Row, they crucified it on a rainbow flag.
Yeah, this game did so
and this is what you get,
bad,
guys.
and rightfully
this is what
so.
You fuckers get for supporting these people. They turn out shitty games that aren't funny, that aren't cool, that aren't masculine. So stop hiring these people. Game developers need to stop putting gay stuff in games, and they need to fire every liberal white woman if they want us to.
The thing is, they don't need to stop. Okay, so they don't need to stop putting gay things into games. They just need to stop making every single fucking character gay. No one has a problem if there's one really well-written gay person, or maybe 2. But, like, if every single character is the same, then it's boring. It's not fun to play.
Ever buy a game again. Because I'm serious, We are done with this.
Actually, a great example of this is was it Dragon Quest 11. Dragon Quest 11 did a great job of putting in one really fucking good gay character. I think his name is Fernando. He was so funny, he was so well written, and that is how you do it. That's how you do it.
Shit. We're not buying these games. Like Phil Spencer is out here complaining about how people aren't spending as much money on games anymore. I guarantee if you give us hetero dudes hot chicks in games again and manly men, you will see sales go through the roof. Bring back the glory days of video games. I have this theory that in a few years, we're going to see a turn back to the golden era of video games, and people are going to start buying games again. I recently saw this crazy chart from 2023 that basically showed that people are only playing.
I do think that that will happen, where there's more of those type of games. But at the same time, though, you have to have good gameplay with the good graphics, because I feel like with Unreal Engine 5, there's a lot of bad games are going to come out of that too, because it's easy to flip assets and all that. So I just think the whole industry needs to just take a step back, stop worrying about spending as much money as possible, and just like the thing with like the old games too is that they had to make a good game with limited resources, and now the resources are so unlimited, it feels like, to where people they used to have to make fun game mechanics around the limitations that they had. And now it just seems like, I don't know, a lot of games, it doesn't even have to be woke or whatever. There's just a lot of bad games now.
Playing old games these days. Nobody wants to play anything that's new out right now because it's all woke and it all sucks so bad. So anyway, guys,
That's not true. There's a lot of really good games that are still coming out.
all hope there's a return of masculine characters in games again.
But there are a lot of bad
that
games
we can relate to. All right, I'm out.
All right, that's that video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna leave his stuff down below as well, like I have for all the other ones. And if you made it this far, if you haven't yet already, like, comment, subscribe, let me know, give me some feedback. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.